your marriage is having crisis not because the problem is too much. It's because you have not stood together to fight the problem. You understand? Scripture says, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. It's not that the problem was too big. It's that you didn't have the capacity to manage it and to overcome it. So here you are in verse 24. They were driven out into outer darkness, out into a world of uncertainty, out from where you had all your needs met to a place where you now have to fend for yourself and suffer. But never for once did Adam blame Eve. Can you see chapter 4 verse 1? Chapter 4 verse 1. It says, now Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. If you read some other version, it says, Adam made love to his wife. Now I don't understand how you people can move from being driven out of the garden, being driven and being in a serious crisis, to still be loving each other. And you are still burning in the midst of crisis. So it's a big lesson for us to learn. They had a major crisis, but they stayed together. They were not even angry with God. We received a son from the Lord. And they still had a crisis because one of the sons, there are some problems that they give birth to children. A problem has happened because of somebody's wrong decision. The consequences may not manifest until maybe 2 months down the line, or 3 years or 4 years. So even after this had happened, they had been thrown out. Then 2 of the children, one of them now killed his brother. And even in the midst of that, they still made love again and gave birth to another child called Seth. And they said, God has given us a substitute, right, for Abel. So I'm saying that their lives were not perfect, like we often like to think. Adam and Eve, they had crises back to back, but they were able to stand together. So I'm challenging you. Be naked and not ashamed. Stand together in difficult times. Now the economy is something else. And it could go either way. You could decide that it will break you, can break your marriage. You decide that it can keep your home together anyhow you want it. That's what's going on. But I'm showing you people that had more crisis than you had. There was no hope of sustenance. There was no hope of their next meal. They were thrown out. The only thing they left that place with was the skin that God used to clothe them. The man now had to till the ground and sweat and get food. Unlike before, when he would just pluck anyone he wanted to eat. So things had changed for them. So please be naked and not ashamed. Number 2,